Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. It looks like we are almost at the end of the road in terms of coalition because political party leaders are busy negotiating to find a way forward in terms of who are we going to work with, what is the relationship and the setup going to be like. The ANC suggested the government of national unity, and a lot of people, even some political party leaders, are rejecting that, saying that we cannot work with so and so. And it looks like the only way for ANC would be to choose the parties that can align with them, not in terms of policies, but in terms of, can I trust you? Can we go to parliament and work together? They are being sworn in. The members of parliament will be sworn in on Friday. So the political party leaders are running against time to decide who can I trust? Who can I work with? In this episode, we are looking at what are the parties that are likely to form a coalition since they are rejecting that government of national unity suggested by the ANC. If we look at the following results, the IEC result dashboard, it tells us a good story of who could be the likely candidates to work together. Before we go into that, remember, the ANC suggested government of national unity. The EFF doesn't want to work with the DA. The DA doesn't want to work with the MK party and the EFF. So it means the ANC has to choose between the parties they have the same policies with or the parties they can trust in parliament. Speaking of the DA, because at this point, there is a good relationship that can rise between the ANC and the DA by trusting each other, which means ANC might have a problem working with the EFF or the MK party as their demands would be heavy. On the other hand, they can find it easy to work with the DA because in most cases, the DA would prefer to protect and work with the ANC rather than working with the MK party or the EFF. There are meetings that are happening as of now in KZN. If you look at the KZN, the party that is leading, it is the Umkhonto weSizwe party. The IFP is on 18% and the ANC on 17%. And you have DA sitting at 13%, EFF on 2%, and you have the NFP on 0.59%. MK party is trying to form a relationship or a coalition with NFP, EFF, and bring other parties. What the ANC is doing is to side with the DA and the IFP. By siding with these parties, they will try to encourage other political parties to come to the table so that they can defeat that coalition of MK party and EFF. Because if you look at the chart, MK party is sitting on 44.91%. The EFF is sitting at 2%. You combine them, they are likely to give you 47%. So the ANC is trying to take away KZN from MK party, meaning if they encourage the rest of the political parties to join them, it is possible that the ANC can take that province from the MK party and bring it to them. And if that coalition works between the ANC and DA, it means that the national would also be determined by what is going to happen in KZN. Because as of now, if you look at it, they have a decider in Gauteng where the DA and the ANC, they can still work together. By working together, they call other party, including the IFP. Remember, IFP and DA come from that relationship of theirs of the Moonshot Pact. Now, they are coming here and leaving the rest of those parties they were working with to form a coalition with the ANC. Now, what is going to happen in Gauteng is that the ANC will look to get the DA on their corner, which is giving them over 50%. And on that, they bring the IFP, who joins the party also to increase their numbers, meaning they are kicking out the MK party and the EFF as the oppositions. Because if they are to work in KZN, they are definitely going to work in Gauteng. And by working in Gauteng, it means that the ANC, the IFP, the ANC, the DA, the IFP, the NFP are going to take the national. There is going to be a coalition between ANC, DA, IFP, the NFP. I'm sure they can include the rest of the other political parties so that they can finally say that the government of national unity is without the EFF and the MK party. This is likely to happen because Ramaphosa would not want MK party to dictate how they should be running their affairs as you know, MK party doesn't want Ramaphosa to be the president. On the other hand, they would not want the EFF to get the position of the Minister of Finance. They will see it as demanding too much from them. So they would be looking to give a position to the DA and get also the IFP on the corner to say that if we work together, maybe we can defeat all these guys who are against us. That is the likely coalition that we are looking at. Forget about what they've been saying about EFF, ANC, MK having similar policies. Now it's no longer about who has similar policies to who. It is about, can we really work together and trust each other in parliament? For example, Ramaphosa would be facing a tough challenge of having to prove that Phala is nothing, of having to put that Phala issue on the side. So for him to defeat Phala issues would be to get the DA, the IFP, the NFP, and get some other parties to working together so that in parliament when they vote, they can still defeat the MK party and the EFF. It is that coalition that is coming. Government of national unity would not work without EFF and MK. So what we are going to have is a coalition between ANC, DA, IFP, NFP, and including the others like Patriotic Alliance. That is what we are looking at nationally. The ANC definitely doesn't want to be dictated. The DA would like to work with the ANC, knowing very well that as long as they don't put too much pressure on the ANC, they will be favored. And as of now, KZN is the destination to be because ANC is fighting hard. They are having meetings. They've had meetings with Umkhonto weSizwe, and I think that they will not understand each other in terms of how they want to run that province. Now, what we are going to have is that the DA will try by all means to influence the rest of the other parties in KZN. Also, the ANC, the IFP, they will be fighting hard. As you know that Jacob Zuma has met with the NFP, he will be working hard also to get the NFP together on the side and get some other parties so that even if they lose national, he can have the province of the KZN. As for Gauteng, definitely is going to go to ANC and DA. Now, what we are looking now is a coalition between ANC, DA, and IFP because those are the ones that have the most percentage in terms of the election results. Parliament would really be interesting because you have ANC working with DA. They are receiving backlash already on their likely relationship. You have IFP in the mix where they could really sit down and say that instead of making Steenhuisen the deputy president, let us take Hlabisa and make him Velenkosi Hlabisa and make him the deputy president and give the ministers to the DA, probably having more ministers than the rest of the lower parties. So the ANC then would sit down and say that we have Ramaphosa as the president, we have Hlabisa as the deputy, we have maybe 4 or 5 ministers belonging to the DA, and the rest goes to the ANC together, sharing with some other parties that joined in the coalition. That means the EFF and the MK remains outside, and it's working for Ramaphosa and the party. The people do not like it. They are actually criticizing that relationship that could arise, saying that they are backed by the Oppenheimers. And then that the fact that if Ramaphosa works with Steenhuisen, it means they are letting go of the rich history of the ANC. Now, the issues are very complex. They've been given enough time to speak about this to find a way forward. There is no way that now, if a coalition arises, we should say that it should have been like this. It means whatever coalition that would arise from this meeting, they tried their best. They couldn't find each other. And to be honest, the people want to see MK EFF and the ANC. But we are going to get the DA, the ANC, the IFP, and the NFP against MK and EFF. That is going to make Parliament very interesting, but we know for sure that there is no way that ANC wants to let go of power. Will it damage their reputation in terms of the next 5 years when people go to vote? Or is there going to be a lot of accountability since you have the DA on the corner, the IFP on the corner, and the NFP too? That remains to be seen, but definitely, if that happens, the coalition between these 4 parties together with the other parties they will be recruiting, it means it's going to be interesting, as there would be much more firepower from the EFF and the MK sitting on the opposition bench. As of now, what they can try to do is to convince the ANC to get out of that comfortable zone of wanting to work with the DA. But if they cannot compromise in terms of what they need and what they want, it means the ANC is going to shut the door on MK and EFF. And if they shut the door, it means that the DA's door has been open. We are looking for 5 years under ANC, DA, IFP, and NFP. That could be what the DA has been working on all along. We might have not known, we might have not realized that DA is not really looking to take out the EFF, but they are looking to have a relationship with the ANC. Remember, the main focus of Steenhuisen was that we want to reduce the EFF. It is our main enemy, our number one enemy. By doing that, they knew for sure, if we can defeat the EFF and get the ANC lower, the ANC will come to us to speak, because they know for sure that the demands of the EFF might be too much. And you have the MK on the corner. That is going to make the situation very complex. Steenhuisen has been planning this for a long time. Do not be surprised when he got the IFP and Action SA to work together. He knew what he was doing. But fortunately, Action SA looked at this situation and pulled out. Now what we have is Steenhuisen, Velinkosi Tlhabisa, Cyril Ramaphosa, and also the NFP working together to defeat the EFF and the MK party. There was a slogan that says, working together we can do more, from the ANC. Now working together we can defeat MK and EFF, as this is the way forward. We are expecting an announcement for Ramaphosa to say that I cannot be told what to do by EFF. I cannot be chased by MK party. So my home is with the DA, the IFP, and the NFP.